Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be reconciling our budget for the month of March. Basically, we're just gonna see how March actually went. So obviously we budgeted for March. We had some projections. Now we're gonna see what actually took place. So we're gonna look at the actual figures. March, even though tragedy struck across the world in March actually happened to be very, very good for us because we were prepping to viciously attack my husband's student loans to clear the rest of his debt. That obviously isn't gonna happen. If you haven't seen our April budget video, then check out that. I'll link it up here. But without further ado, let's go ahead and look at how we did for the month of March. Okay, so here is my 2020 budget planner, and I'm just gonna flip to March. Basically, all of our bills were paid and we received all of our paydays. That's in short what this page actually entails, what the monthly view actually entails. I have gone ahead and, you know, checked off all the bills as they were paid and all of that good stuff. So that is just the monthly overview. Next, we do have like a brain dump. So basically, as you can see, all that we were really able to get done was was verifying, doing my husband's student loan verification, which has to be done yearly. And also, I got an oil change and taking my husband's car to the shop. I forgot we even did that. But yes, we took my husband's car to the shop. None of the other things we actually got around to doing. Most of the spending was brought to a halt after we learned about what was going on, because while we are still spending, we aren't doing any like unnecessary spending. So anyway, that's just kind of like my brain dump. And then I did send my niece actually 60 because I got 50 from the ATM and I did not feel like carrying out the transaction that would need to take place. I got 60 from the ATM and I didn't want to go into a store or whatever to bust the 60. So I just sent her 60. And then, of course, housewarming party was canceled. We did get housewarming gifts. I will tell you that we got, even though our friends and stuff couldn't make it, some actually sent like housewarming gifts, or also we got our AT&T rewards gift cards. So whenever we get to the actual budget part of this, you'll see that I'll tell you about how much we spent for the house, but realistically we have been spending those gift cards and the funds that we have received for like a housewarming gift for the house. So I'm not including those numbers in the house category because we've been using that other excess money to purchase those items. So let's go ahead and flip to the actual budget. Okay, so March was shaping up to be like extraordinary for income, and that's because, as we all know, the online money that I earn each month fluctuates a whole lot. So some months it's really a lot, other months it's not, and it's all pretty much due to YouTube. Like I can make thousands and thousands upon thousands of dollars from YouTube in a month. Other times I make like 1,000 or 1,500 or something like that. So I think I'm thinking I haven't been on YouTube long enough to really notice a pattern, to really like give you guys a real accurate depiction of what a pattern would look like or what the pattern is. But I'm thinking that it does seem to be around the end of the year, beginning of the new year, where my views seem to be up. So that's kind of what goes on here for the month of March. Like that's kind of like what takes place on my channel, and I feel like that's why I was set to get such a large amount of money from YouTube in March, because that was actually money that I had earned in February. So I don't really know what the next months will hold. I'm assuming income will be back down, but either way, that's why income was so much, and the actual was actually $98.36. And so moving on to our actual expenses. So this was a check-in that I did at the middle of the month. I just like doing those personally. Some people don't necessarily care to do those, which is fine, but I like to do a mid-month check-in. But as for mortgage and security and electricity and phone and cable internet, those were all what we had budgeted for because we knew how much those would have been at the beginning of the month. So basically I'm just gonna write $1,471.46 over here, 51.7 here. Ooh, I hate when I do that, when I don't pick it up. 94.06 here, and the lines basically indicate that the bill hadn't been paid because it wasn't due around the middle of the month, which, like I said, the middle of the month, I normally do these around like the 15th of each month. The phone was $101.50. Cable/internet was actually lower than budgeted because I was budgeting on the high end, but we actually received our actual bill for our cable and internet and what it's going to be moving forward. It was a lot of like wishy-washiness, like the first couple of months that we moved into the house whenever we had to switch to AT&T internet and DirecTV or whatever. So I think everything's kosher now, but the actual for cable/internet was $120.67. So the actual for water/sewer was $47.18, more than budgeted. So we were actually over in this category. For my allowance, around the middle of the month, I had spent $81.31, and that's what I spent for the whole month. And if you've been around here, then you know that fluctuates a lot. Some months are better than others for me, but $81.31 was what I spent for my allowance. And I'll be honest, I think I'm kind of that's just turning out to be lower. But basically I get my nails and eyebrows done with that money, with my allowance every month sometimes, but I think that's turning out to be lower because I am buying other items, but they're for the house, so they're for the both of us. So it's not like random spending. It's money that I'm spending to furnish a house that's very empty because we moved from a very small apartment to a big house, a much bigger house rather, I should say. And we're having to furnish it and buy things that we wouldn't normally buy. So a lot of the house category is where I feel like I'm still spending money. I was still spending money, but it was just going into the house category because I'm not buying anything specifically for me. Like washcloths are not for me, towels are not just for me, that kind of thing. My husband was actually way over his budget. He came in at $183.61, so he spent $100 more than me. So he is way over budget. And then for beauty, of course, my hair appointment was canceled, so I actually ended up spending only $40. I guess my husband didn't get a haircut because he was going to get one, and then the barber shop closed down or whatever, so there's that. And then for donations and gifts, we spent $185.77. I'm not really sure why that was so high, but this category is made up of just kind of like gifts that we give to friends and family members and, you know, stuff like that. Let's see, the next category we have is toiletries, and we spent $55.33 on toiletries. The next category is miscellaneous, and we spent $158.97. That was like my husband's car repairs and my oil change and stuff like that. For travel, $117.46. I went out of town in March, at the beginning of March, but I didn't spend much, as you can see. Business, $564.69, and actually to run the business I actually only spent less $175. Wait, let me see. Yeah, less $175 because $175 went to our tax guy for filing our taxes. Next we have house, and like I said, this is just this number. Realistically, we spent more than this because the money came from gift cards and stuff like that. But $43.61 is what I'm going to record. For my gym, that was $19.99. For gas, you know, I stopped commuting to work and whatnot eventually, so we only spent $86.74. For health insurance, that was $218.61 as budgeted. For life insurances, $42.19 as budgeted. For food/dates, we actually came in slightly under at $110.282, which I'm kind of slightly impressed, but if I'm being 100% candid with y'all, that was probably like $400 for alcohol, like truthfully and truthfully, because I drink Patron, my husband drinks Hennessy, and I don't know if y'all know how much the going price is for a large bottle or a fifth or whatever you call it, a pint. But it's a lot of money, and that's just that's just life. So that's how much that was. Also, I had purchased alcohol and all of that for the housewarming party, but the housewarming was canceled. So yeah, basically my husband and I just drank all of that. Also, we went on a date night that was about $150 as well, and then everything else we spent either at like a restaurant or at the grocery store, whatever that math shakes out to be. And then our student loan payments were as budgeted, and if you're new around these parts, these are our only debts that remain currently, and Rona just won't let us be great. And then for this was either going to go to debt or the IRS, like either the student loans, the IRS, something like that. And what happens is, what actually technically it has gone to savings, because we are hoarding that money. And so that is roughly $4,313.63. This is our budget, and this is how we did for the month of March. And I don't know what April's gonna look like, but we're gonna try to put our best foot forward. So that is it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.